Hi and welcome to the Ucommerce Masterclass on Sitefinity. In this exercise we are going to focusing on building up the category navigation by using the Ucommerce APIs. Right now our current website doesn't do much. We only have a mini basket up here. We currently have an empty basket, and in this exercise we want to give our customer the ability to navigate to a category. Therefore, we are building a category navigation. So if you go back to the back office of Sitefinity here and into our home page, like that, collapse the content and expand our masterclass section out here. There's already a widget called category navigation, and this is the one that we are going to use. So I will just drag that into the place that I like that, and then I will publish the site. So when that is published, I can refresh my home page here, but this actually doesn't change anything on our storefront here because the category navigation widget doesn't do anything yet. And this is the exercise for this session. So if we get back to our Visual Studio solution for this masterclass, we can expand the Ucommerce Masterclass website project, MVC, controllers, and then we can find the widget for rendering out the category navigation. In this case, the category navigation controller, which is this one. And as you can see, what it does is basically just creating an empty list of something called category view model, which is going to present the categories in our category navigation. And then it is basically just returning that into a category navigation rendering view model for the view. So what we need to do in this exercise is to use the Ucommerce APIs to get the root categories for Ucommerce and then map them into a category view model, which is then going to be rendered for our category navigation. So I will just use our root category variable here, and then I will use the map categories method. The API for getting the root categories of Ucommerce is called Ucommerce API.catalogLibrary.getRootCategories, just like that. And then down here I want to map the information that I want to show for my customer in the category navigation. So I'll go through each of the category that we are getting from the Ucommerce API call, and then I will create a new category view model. Like that, and start mapping the values that I want to show for my customer. In this case, the name. Like that. And then of course I need to put this object into the result that I'm going to return in the end. So that will be result.add category view model, just like that. Let's try to build this, which will trigger the deploy script. Let us refresh the page. So now you'll actually see that we have stuff rendered out for our category navigation. If we compare this with our categories within Ucommerce, let's navigate back to the backend, into Ucommerce, the catalog manager, right here. And you will notice the ones that we are getting rendered right now is our top categories within the store: tops, shoes, and accessories. But you will also notice that underneath a category you can actually have more categories. This means that Ucommerce can have an infinity deep category structure that we need to take care of when we're rendering it out for our customer. So we need to render out the subcategories as well. And even more, we actually need to make sure that we also supporting the multilingual values of, for example, the display name for a category. So we are not just showing the internal name here, but if I, for example, go in and edit the multilingual values for the formal one, right now it will not be shown. So we need to make sure that we account for that as well. And even if we click on it, nothing happens. So there is no redirect for the customer, so he can actually not navigate to a category by using our category navigation bar at the moment. So let's fix that. First thing is that we need to make sure that we support the infinitive deep category structure within Ucommerce. So this actually means that a category view model actually has a collection of categories. And then we can reuse our map categories method here by passing in the child categories of this one. To do that, we will use again the ucommerce.api.catalog.library.get categories, and you will see it takes in a parent category as a parameter. So we can just specify the one that we're having in our loop right now, just like that. So we can reuse this method here to map the values for the child categories as well. Then we are rendering the name out as the internal name. But we want to make sure that our shop supports the multilingual values as well. So instead of taking the name property from the category, we will this time use an extension method in Ucommerce called display name. By using the Ucommerce extension namespace up here, this will then return the display name for the current language resulted by Sitefinity. Then the only thing left is to make sure there is an URL for the customer, so he will actually be redirected to the category that he or she wants to navigate to. And to do that, there's another field on our category view model here called URL, like that. And there's two ways to get the URL from within Ucommerce. We can use the API, which is called ucommerce.api.catalog.library.getNiceURL for a category. And then we can specify which category it is that we want to have an URL for. Like that. But just to keep it simple, what we really need is basically just a URL to a content page. So we could actually slim it down to be category view model dot URL equals home slash a category content page. So whenever a customer clicks on this category, he or she will be navigated to a content page underneath home called category. And this is the way Sitefinity know which content page is in the context right now for the customer. And Ucommerce actually needs to have some kind of the same behavior. Ucommerce needs to know which category is it that the customer wants to look at. So to meet that requirement, we can add in a query string parameter here called category, like that. So that is the key of our query string, and then we need to assign a value to it, and that will basically just be our category ID, just like that. So when a customer clicks on a category, Sitefinity now know what the customer wants to look at, and Ucommerce will also know what the customer is looking at. Let's try to build this. And spin up our site again. So now we will actually have a lot more deeper category structure where we have all the child categories rendered. You can see that we are also supporting the multilingual values for our category. And best of all, we can actually allow our customer to navigate to one of the categories by clicking on one of them, just like that. Right now we're getting a 404 since we haven't created the category page yet, but that is for the next exercise. So now it's your time to do this exercise. This is exercise 020, browse category navigation in the handouts. Please set aside some time to do this, and when you're done, continue this recording. We have now built our category navigation bar for our customer by calling the Ucommerce API catalog library.get root categories to get the root categories of our store. then passing them down to a map categories method that maps all the needed values for our categories. We even reuse the map categories method to map the child categories of a category by calling the Ucommerce API.catalogLibrary.getCategories for a specific category. So now our customer has the ability to navigate to a category on our homepage. That's it, you are ready for the next exercise.